Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to do a bookshelf tour of all the books that I have on my shelves in my new apartment. This is going to be completely full in depth, every single shelf, all the books. So if you're interested, stick around. We are going to go through every single book, and I have a lot. All right, first things first, we're going to go through the bottom shelf. This is kind of like a miscellaneous throw of all the books that I didn't have a specific place for. So it's my Ellen Hilderbrand shelf, as well as some Jennifer Hartman. The only thing that I have read on this shelf is not even on this shelf. I let my mom borrow it. It is The Perfect Couple, I believe. I also watched the Netflix series and it was very good. It stuck very close to the book and I have no comments. So clearly these are part of the physical TBR. Next we have the Hunger Games series. This is the special edition. So I have Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay, and The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I really hope they publish this kind of special edition for Sunrise on the Reaping so that I can complete the set. I have read all of these. I love them. They are a huge part of my childhood, and I listened to A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Sunrise on the Reaping. They were both so good. They were done perfectly. And then this next series is another YA series. This is, I don't know what the series is actually called, but it is Legend by Marie Lu. She actually just recently published I think, adult dystopian fantasy, Red City. I have not read that yet, but I did read this in middle school and was obsessed with it. So I have that series here. And then some more like YA miscellaneous books that I have here. I have The Hate You Give, The Way I Used to Be, The Way I Am Now. I have not read this one. This is the sequel. We Were Liars. I did read and watch the TV show. It was amazing. I really want to read Family of Liars, and then I can't remember what the third book is. Sarah wants me The Giver. She really wants me to read that. Following on to the third shelf, we have a catch all for some mystery thriller. I have read some of these. Some of these I have not even thought of touching in a very long time. I do get into phases where I love to read mystery thriller books, and currently I am not in that phase. We have The Last Patient of the Night. This was actually a book that my boyfriend Cam got me for Valentine's Day. And then I have End of Story. I don't really know what that one's about, but I do have it on my TBR. I haven't read it. Zero Days by Ruth Ware. I have not read this, but I did read One by One by Ruth Ware, and that was really good. That was about this tech company going on to a retreat, kind of like a bonding experience, maybe not. There's like an avalanche, and basically they're stuck, snowed in at the ski resort, and someone dies, and it's kind of like a whodunit murder mystery. We have Murder Road by Simone St. James. I have heard this is really good. I think maybe I will read it closer to the fall. That's kind of when I feel like a lot of murder mysteries are. It just feels like the right time to read those for me, but it's also the right time to read fantasy. So I don't really know when I will get to these, but I am hopeful that I will. Next, we have The Madness. I believe this takes place in a psych ward, but have no idea what else it's about. Wait by Shelley Bird. Don't know what that's about, but I think maybe it has something to do with the ocean. And Their Monstrous Hearts. I did talk about this in one of my other videos. This is about a writer who inherits his grandma's house, and she has this famous butterfly collection, and her friends are really shady, and he starts finding out some things about the house and the collection, and something doesn't really sit right, and it kind of goes from there. I'm really excited to read that one. This one I am well overdue to start reading. I have The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I did read this a couple years ago. Kim got me this for Christmas or my birthday, and then we watched the Apple TV show. The first time I saw him came out, and that is what the second season is based on. So I need to read it so that we can watch it. Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. I did read this a couple years ago. It's kind of one of those books that's a mental ride. Not that doesn't even make sense. A book that makes you think about the actions of all these individual characters, and it's kind of like a psychology thriller. It kind of blew my mind. I enjoyed it. I don't reading it now, I think I would understand it a little more. I don't think I really understood and appreciated the writing when I read it. The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I have not read this. Same thing with Home Before Dark. Both of these are highly recommended thrillers. Riley Sager is one of those authors in the mystery thriller genre that are very popular, kind of like Frida McFadden, but in a different capacity. The Devil May Dance. I have no idea what that's about. It's on there though. That's Not My Name. This a YA mystery thriller. 20 years later, I did read this one and I really enjoyed it. This book is focused around 9/11. It's like a now and then timeline. They're solving a murder and like forensics are going through the debris of 9/11 and trying to identify victims by either their teeth or their bone marrow, and they're trying to identify them that way. So that's kind of cool. And that is by Charlie Danella. So because I enjoyed that so much, I bought Those Empty Eyes. Don't really know what this is about. I just know that I liked this book, so I might like that one. Hidden Pictures was a book club book for February. That one I enjoyed. It's kind of more of a horror, not a thriller. The Woman in Cabin 10. I bought this also because it became I think a movie on Netflix, but I want to read it before I watch it, so that's why it's on my shelf. The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. I think I read it after reading Verity. They're kind of the same concept, I would say, because the wife is upstairs and then this girl gets involved with the husband and they find out that there is a wife upstairs. The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This was my first Lucy Foley book. I don't think I've read anything else by her because I've heard they're all kind of the same whodunit murder mystery, and this one is very similar to the Perfect Couple by Ellen Hildebrand. So I enjoyed it. I read it very fast, but they were too similar for me. Alice Feeney, Rock, Paper, Scissors. This was the first Alice Feeney book I read, and I really enjoyed it. From like the 3 books that I've read Rock, Paper, Scissors, Beautiful, Ugly, and her newest one, My Husband's Wife. They all have this theme of husband and a wife. One of them's lying, and then you kind of have to figure out the story as you go. I've enjoyed every single one that I've read. They're slightly different, so it doesn't get boring by any means. A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. That one was really, really good. It was about this female main character, and her dad was a serial killer. He's been in prison for years. All of a sudden, these young women start turning up murdered the exact same way that her father would murder them. And if you know anything about serial killers, they kind of have a specific style. I'm big Criminal Minds fan, so that was really interesting to me. Local Woman Missing. This one was really good as well. It's about the daughter goes missing, the mom also goes missing at the same time, and the dad and the son are left behind. And the dad never gives up. He wants to try to figure out what happened to his wife and his daughter. And that was really, really good. Too Good to Be True. I can't remember what this is about, but I believe that is the same author that wrote Tell Me Lies, which I read. It's somewhere, I think it's on my other shelf. They're organized but not organized, if that makes any sense. I have not perfected my setup, but I wanted to show you an in-depth tour, so here we are. So because I liked Tell Me Lies, I bought Too Good to Be True. I have not read it. Same thing with Billy Summers by Stephen King. I've heard this is really good, and this is a horror book that's more mystery, less horror, so I bought that. The Whispers by Heidi Perks. No idea what that's about. I bought that a long time ago. So this is my third shelf. We're moving on to the fourth. This is getting into my fantasy. So, first one up is Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil. This is a special edition copy that I got at, I think it's the Bookish Box. They have a bunch of beautiful, stunning covers. I bought it when I went to Arizona because apparently they have an actual like store. This is about 3 female main characters. It is sapphic. It's basically like toxic lesbian vampires and their relationships throughout like the decades, I believe. I've heard so many good things, so I'm really excited to read that when I get a chance. The Stars Are Dying. I bought this because it was on sale. One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. These were my first gothic fantasy. It heavily uses the theme of not tarot cards but providence cards and giving powers to the female main character and the male main character. And if you have the card, you essentially have the power that that card has. When The Night and the Moth came out by Rachel Gillig, I bought that. I have not gotten around to reading it yet, but I am highly anticipating that read. Silver Elite. I bought this when it came out because it was very popular on Book Talk. It piques my interest, but I have so many books on my TBR that I haven't gotten to that one. Same thing with Shield of Sparrows by Devaney Perry. Catabasis. I have not read any R.F. Kuang books. When I do read those, I will be starting with The Poppy War, which is up here. Rings of Fate. This is a book of the month pick. I also have The Strength of the Few. I don't have The Strength of the Many because I bought this one with the 50% off hardcovers sale at Barnes& and Noble, and they didn't have the hardcover of the first books. Bloodguard, Spark of the Flames. I saw this in Barnes, and it kind of piqued my interest. I've never seen it before. I think maybe it got traditionally published recently. It's about dragons. I talked about Firebird by Juliet Cross on this channel in a different video. So I have that, and then the sequel, Bloodsinger, Warrior Princess Assassin by Bridget Kemmer. I haven't read either, but I went to a book event in Milwaukee, and the author was actually there, and she had a discussion, Q&A, about her writing process and how many books she wrote before one got super popular. And I think hearing authors talk about that is really interesting. It kind of like makes me want to write a book. Like I can just like do that. I don't know where that confidence comes from. The Book of Azrael I got as a birthday gift, Christmas gift from Sarah. It's pretty sprayed edges. Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I have this as a series that I want to get into, but have no need to get into it right now because it's a very high fantasy and very long series. So it's just there. The Immortal Dark, that is YA. I think that also has to do with vampires. Female fantasy, I got as a blind date with the book. Sounds good. The female main character is a mermaid, I think. Long Live Evil was a October promotion at Barnes where they have monthly $5 books for cafe items. Bloodbound is this month's book of the month pick. It is a fantasy. It also has dragons. If you can't tell, I really like dragons. Next, we have another fantasy shelf, The North Wind. Haven't read it. It's a 4-book series. Fairy really want to read this one, but as you can see, it's thick. Same thing with Direbound. I've only heard good things. And then The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. Haven't read. The Dread Descendant, The Dread Prince, and The Dread King. I actually saw a random, I think it was a reel on Facebook, but I think these are supposed to be kind of like Hermione fanfic-esque kind of books, and I mean the cover speaks for itself. I bought it immediately. I'm gonna read this with Sarah and Diamond at some point. The Road of Bones by Demi Winters. I have not read this. There's a couple books out, I believe. Poppy War, we already talked about. The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I have not read this series, but I did read. There's just a lot of fantasy series that I want to get into, but have not. We will get there. We will get there eventually. They're just on my shelf in the meantime. Red Rising, I did read. Loved it. It was so good. And then I read Golden Sun. I did not get to Morningstar. We decided to read the Throne of Glass series in the middle of the summer. We started that but I do remember loving both of them. Blood over Bright Haven. I really, really, really want this to be a book club book pick because it is a standalone fantasy and those do not exist. Like there's very, very slim standalones in the fantasy genre. And we always start a series pretty much every book club book. So I think this would be a really good contender. Twilight Special Edition. This is my reading journal from last year. Game of Thrones series. I've watched it with Cam. I've never watched it before, which is criminal, I know. I watched it a couple years ago with Cam, and I do eventually want to read this, but this is a big commitment as well. Next, we have my SJM shelf. I have A Court of Thorns or Roses, the ACOTAR series right here. Did read all of that. I am so excited for ACOTAR 6 and 7 to come out later this year and early next year. That announcement was the highlight of my year so far in terms of books. My Throne of Glass series, I read this last year. It was really good. I enjoyed. It does get really slow in the middle here. Well, the this right here, it gets slow, but it's worth it because you get to know all the characters on a deeper level, and it makes Kingdom of Ash so much more meaningful when you read it. And it's crazy that she started writing this when she was 16 years old. The Crescent City series as well, I have. All right, then we're getting into romance. I have some Cara Stone books, Ready or Not. This is such a good book. It's accidental pregnancy trope. That's not everyone's favorite, but I really, really enjoyed this book. Promise Me Sunshine, I did not like that much. I have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Love that. I did not like the other two books in the series very much. The Off Campus series by Elle Kennedy. I'm so excited for I think it Prime picked up the TV series that's coming out in May. I'm really excited to watch that. From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. She's the queen of slow burn. Okay, if you like slow burn, she's your girl. I ate this book up. It is similar to The Favorites, but less drama, I'd say. It's like best friends to lovers trope. It's really good. It's so worth the slow burn. Then I have some more Elle Kennedy over here, The Graham Effect, The Charlie Method, and Dixon Rule. This is a second generation series to the off campus. Sin Bin by Chelsea Curto. I have not read any of the DC Stars books, but this one was signed, so I bought this one. I know it's the most recent one, so I obviously have to start with the first book. Some Lana Ferguson books, The Nanny, The Fake Mates, The Mating Game. I have not read any of her books, I don't think, but The Nanny has kind of been on my radar for a long time, so I bought that. The Fake Mate, I did not know that it was a werewolf romance. And then we have some Hannah Bonham Young, Out on a Limb, Out of the Woods. I really loved Out on a Limb. Again, accidental pregnancy trope. I ate it up. Out of the Woods, these are characters that we see in Out on a Limb. They're married, they have some marital problems. It's their story. I did not like them in their book, but I loved them in Out on a Limb, the glimpses that we see. Then we have People Watching. I have not read this yet because I've heard very mixed reviews. I'm really scared to read it. Okay, we are going to try this again because I filmed this 3 times now and you can only see a floating head. So I'm sitting on my chair and hopefully you can see me and the shelf. I really hope so. If not, I give up. We have my small town Lucy Score shelf. I love Lucy Score. She's amazing. I've read By a Thread, 5 stars, highly recommend. Workplace Enemies to Lover. Forever Never, not my favorite. The Blue Moon series, I loved. It was amazing. It is interconnected, standalones, small town. They're quick reads. They're my favorite Lucy Score series. Highly recommend. The Worst Best Man did not read. Maggie Moves On did not read. Story of My Life was a book club book sometime last year in the spring. It gives Schitt's Creek, Gilmore Girl vibes, similar to the Knock 'em Out series, I would say, but not too similar that you're like, this is copy and paste in the same font. It was really funny. I loved it. Mistakes Were Made is the sequel that just came out a couple months ago. Haven't read it yet. The Knock 'em Out series, I've read the first two, have not read the third one. I'm very nervous to read the third one because those are my favorite characters. And when it came out, there was some mixed reviews on whether we felt as readers they got the story that we wanted them to. So it's not on my shelf right now. I gave it to my mom to read, and I'll read it. Mr. Fixer Upper, I have not read. Dead Body Next Door, Body in the Backyard, Blast from the Past is its own trilogy. Haven't gotten to those either. And then we have some Game Changers books. Heated Rivalry, I have read, loved. And I don't have the other ones. I'm slowly buying them. I listened to up to Common Goal. And then I believe Role Model and The Long Game are the next 2 books in the series. Amy Dawes, she is another author that writes small town romance. She has her current series right now is the Mountain Men Matchmaker series. The final book is Bad Boy Era. That is about Everly, the three brothers' niece, who is the matchmaker. I don't know what series this is, but Wait With Me recently got traditionally published. This is kind of based on her life, where she was trying to write a book, sat down, couldn't write anything. She tried multiple different places, couldn't write anything. So she took her car in to get an oil change and then sat down, started going, writing like crazy. And then she found out like that's the place. That's the place that she can write her books the best. She took her husband's car to get an oil change and she wrote some more. And yeah, so her editor, she said, told her to write a book about it. So Wait With Me is about an author who writes at a coffee shop and gets caught by the hot, sexy mechanic. So I'm excited to read that. Next, we have this shelf, I would say, is my dark romance slash billionaire romance shelf. We have Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. When it came out, it was kind of like hinted that it's kind of Hermione related. Tourist Season by Bryn Weaver is her newest series. She wrote Butcher and Blackbird. I have not read that series, but I really like Criminal Minds and stuff like that. So I imagine I would like it. They're up there when I'm in the mood. Game of Revenge is an indie author book. It kind of gave me the vibes of Anna Huang. And then we have some Sophie Lark books. Brutal Prince and Broken Vow, but they were really popular when I first got back into reading. And I told myself I'll slowly buy them, I'll read them when I'm ready. It's multiple years later, haven't read them. Don't even know if like it's something that I would be interested in now, so we'll see. I have some K.M. Moranova book, Leave Me Behind, Your Knife, My Heart, and My Blade, Your Back. The first one is its own book. It's about these two individuals, I would say like special forces, CSI, special ops vibes. They fall in love, and then the other two are duology, kind of around like the same theme, but not necessarily interconnected to the first one. Then we have Haunting and Hunting Adeline. This is OG dark romance book talk books. I have not read these. I'm kind of scared, but when I do read them, there will be a reading vlog, so stay tuned for that eventually. Den of Vipers was my first ever dark romance book, and it is a white choose. It's very spicy. They're doing the Naked Twister almost every other chapter. I was really into it in the beginning, and then by the middle, it got really old. So when I first was reading, I thought it was good. A couple years later, I don't think that anymore. Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas is one of my favorite age gap romances. It is ex-boyfriend's dad, and it's done beautifully. I love it. We have Lights Out. We already know what that's about. Stalker romance. I haven't read it yet. I will. Some Lauren Asher books. I have not read this series, but I did read the Dreamland Billionaires series and I enjoyed. Lauren Asher is kind of one of those authors that if you like her, you like her. And sometimes you have to be a little patient to get to the romance part that you're hoping for. It's not necessarily slow burn, but it's also like the writing style is not for everyone. Of Ink and Alchemy, I picked this up at Barnes. I've never heard of it, never seen it before, but I read the back. It's about tattoo artists and it seemed really interesting, so I bought it. King of Wrath. I have not started the series and I don't know if I want to after seeing different mixed reviews on the series. Like it's copy and paste with different characters for each book. I don't know if I'm going to like that, so I haven't read it. I did love the Twisted series though. Anna Huang stole my heart with that one. It is so good. So this is my first bookshelf. All the books that I have on here. Okay, I really hope you can see me and that the lighting isn't terrible because this is like the darkest corner of this room. But we have another miscellaneous bottom shelf. We have some holiday romances. We have Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace. Murder at Holly House. This was one of those $5 books at Barnes if you bought coffee or bakery items. Most famous girl in the world, 7 Days in June. Excited to read about that one. They both die at the end. I don't know if I still want to read this one or not, but it's here nevertheless. Tomorrow, and Tomorrow. The Last to Let Go. This is the same author as The Way I Used to Be. Why it's on this shelf and not next to the other one, I'm not sure. The Ministry of Time, highly recommended by many other people on BookTube, BookTok. I'm excited to get into it, but I'm kind of nervous. Society of Lies, want to read. Bright Young Women, same author, Jessica Knoll as The Luckiest Girl Alive. Again, don't know why it's down here. Kin, this was my book of the month pick for March. Lake Effect. This is, I believe, I don't know if it's fiction or romance, but I saw it at Barnes and it looked really good. Tell Me Lies. I read this one. Love the show, love the book. Say no more. As the Wicked Watch. I don't know if this is technically like police procedural or what genre this falls into, but all I know is it's 5 stars and it's amazing. Did you hear about Kitty Carr? I got this as a book of the month pick a couple years ago. Haven't read it yet. And then these are some like self-help books. Brace Your Almost by Jordan Dooley. She has a podcast. I bought her book. Kind of read some of it. Didn't finish it. Let That Shit Go. I did finish, but I did force myself to finish it. Self-help book. Don't know how much it really helped. Why has nobody told me this before? I bought this because it looked interesting. Haven't read it. Almost Life. This was last month's book of the month pick as well. I bought both Kin and Almost Life. Very excited to read those two. We have, Sarah has my copy of Divergent, but we have Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant. Very, 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 very popular books in middle school, and I ate them up. I loved them. Real by Kennedy Ryan. Haven't read. The Winners by Frederick Bachman. I think I think Sarah has my copy of Beartown too. I haven't read these. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Read it, loved it, 5 stars. So excited for the movie. And then some other Taylor Jenkins Reid books that I haven't read. Malibu Rising I read, did not like. I need to read Daisy Jones and the Six. The School for Good Mothers. I think this is fiction. The God of the Woods. I so want to read this in this year. It's like one of my 26 books I want to read in 2026. On the come up. Is this the same author as The Hate You Give? I don't think so. I bought this book in middle school. Oh yeah, this is the second book to The Hate You Give, I believe. Haven't read it yet though. I Who Have Never Known Men. This is a really popular book. I saw Sarah Caroli read it, and it's one of those books where there's a bunch of women who are underground and they've never seen the day of light. And one day they exit, and it kind of goes from there. Like, what they're kind of like rediscovering the world. I don't know if you can see this corner, so I apologize if you can't. Breaking the Dark by Lisa Jewell. This is a Jessica Jones book, which is Marvel. I got it because it signs, and I love Marvel. Jessica Jones is not my favorite character, but nevertheless, I bought it. The Girl with Stars in Her Eyes, kind of the same vibe. I bought this in middle school because it was popular. I haven't read it yet. I don't know if I will. Dune, and then Messiah, the first and second book in the Dune series. Ahsoka. I am a big Marvel, Harry Potter, and Star Wars fan. Ahsoka is my favorite character. I read this book. It's really good. Wuthering Heights. I bought this. It's a classic. I bought it so that I could read it and then watch the movie. Haven't read it. Have yet to see the movie. I fear by the time I read it, the movie will already be out. But nevertheless, I will not watch the movie before reading that. This was kind of like a catch all fiction, dystopian. This is a weird two shelf genre that I don't know where to put these things. This is a mystery thriller shelf, kind of like the other shelf. I'm trying to have the genres go across the room instead of one shelf is all mystery thriller and fiction, and then the other one romance and fantasy, because I did that in my other apartment and I didn't really like that setup. So we have The Hunting Wives. I read this. I watched the show. This is another one where the show I thought was better than the book. Geneva Rose, a couple of those books. Home is Where the Bodies Are. I've read that. The Girl I Was. I read that. First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. I read this a couple of years ago. It's really good. I highly recommend. It's about a husband and a wife, and the wife has some secret identity. She finds some things about her husband, I think. It was really good. Anatomy of an Alibi. This one was Book of the Month. Anatomy of an Alibi and the Exes. I got those the same month as well. I think this was February, maybe. This is about twins who switch, like, kind of do like a parent trap, switch identities, and then when they go back to their lives, there's a murder, and they're trying to figure out what really happened. Listen for the Lie. This is a podcast about murders. They're trying to solve a murder. I could be wrong. Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson is her first adult mystery. It has such an interesting premise. It's about a girl who finds out that she has, I think, a month to live, and she basically is trying to solve her own murder. This happens around Halloween, so that's when I want to read it. Next, we have You Are Not Alone and An Anonymous Girl, both by the same author. I picked these up quite a long time ago. I don't remember what they're about. I don't even know if I still want to read them or if I want to unhaul them, but they're here. The Cabin at the End of the World. I got this with a barn blind date with a book. What's Done in Darkness and Will Never Tell are YA mysteries. Central Park is one that I bought at an indie bookstore. We Used to Live Here is a horror. I really want to read that one. The Devil's Advocate, The Orphanage by the Lake, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder I read, Good Girls Bad Blood I read. I didn't like this one as much. It was basically like copy and paste with a different conflict. You Deserve to Know, College Girls Missing, The Au Pair, I Told You This Would Happen, How to Kill a Man and Get Away with It, Lost Gems. Those are all books that I have not read yet. They're on my TBR. Again, my whole shelf. The Perfect Marriage, The Silent Patient, and The Fury I did read. I loved all of those. Next, we are going on to a fantasy dystopian shelf. We have Assistant to the Villain, Apprentice to the Villain, Accomplice to the Villain. I have read all three. I really liked the first one. The second one was all right. I didn't really like the third one, and I don't know if I'm going to read the fourth one or not. I might unhaul these, but they're cute little fun fantasy. Renegades, Arch Enemies, and Supernova. I have not read these. I've had them for a while. On Wings of Blood and The Bond That Burns. These are the indie covers. I really liked them. I'm excited for the third book. I forgot what it was called. I'm sad that there won't be another indie cover for the third book. And then we have Quicksilver and Brimstone. I loved Quicksilver. Brimstone, I was disappointed. I did pre-order the third book, and hopefully that will redeem the series for me, but I don't know if I'll continue. And then we have Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and Onyx Storm. I love the series. I'm so excited for the next book. We have Powerless, Reckless, and Fearless by Lauren Roberts. I enjoyed the first one. The second one was all right. By the third one, it lost me. I was not interested. Heavenly Bodies. I love this book. This was our November book club book last year. I only remember that because I talked about that when I read Fallen Stars in my reading vlog in January, and I said that so many times in my head that it's ingrained in my brain. Sarah's borrowing Fallen Stars right now. That's why it's not on my shelf. A Fate of Onyx and Ivory and A Fate of Flames and Fury. These are indie books as well. Then we have some of the Mortal Instruments books. We have City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass. I don't have the fifth one or the fourth one. The fourth or the fifth one. And then I have the sixth one, City of Heavenly Fire. All right, hopefully you can see me. This series by Sav R. Miller. I don't know what it's called, but it's Greek mythology. And then we have two from Jennifer L. Armentrout. It's like From Blood and Ash and something else. These are random books in the series that I got at Half Price Book. We have The Grace Year. It's a YA dystopian, maybe? Amid Clouds and Bones, The Bridge Kingdom, The Rogue King, The Blood King, The Warrior King, and The Curse King. I haven't read these. And then this is the series that I was talking about by Carissa Broadbent, Daughter of No Worlds and Children of Fallen Gods. So that is a couple of my fantasy shelves, and then this is my Harry Potter shrine shelf. So we have hardcovers, paperbacks, and all little figurines. I'm gonna try to stand in this corner. The next shelf is really random. We have some Frida McFadden books: Never Lie, The Boyfriend, Housemaid, Housemaid's Secret, The Tenant. I've read all of these and like her two most recent releases, Dear Debbie and Want to Know a Secret. Jennifer Lynn Barnes, YA. This one's kind of like Criminal Minds, but YA. Really liked. I think there's another book coming out this year, which I thought it was done, but apparently it's not. The Summer I Turned Pretty series, special editions. I read these a long time ago, and then when the TV show came out, I absolutely ate it up. And then we have some random fantasy, The Shiver Tree. That one, it's kind of giving Quicksilver dupe. I don't think there's any more books out in the series. I listened to this. I don't even know where I bought it from, but it was all right. And then we have some Juliet Cross. These are witches, werewolves, vampires. I've read Wolf Gone Wild, and there's a couple more, I think, in the series, but I obviously have to read this in October, otherwise, it doesn't feel right. Addicted to You and Kiss the Sky. I am slowly collecting the books to this series because I really want to read it. And then we have some Abby Jimenez books. I've read all of these except for the Happily Ever After playlist. So we have Part of Your World, Yours Truly, Just for the Summer, Happily Ever After playlist, The Friend Zone, and Life's Too Short. Chloe Walsh, Boys of Tommen series. We read Binding 13 as a book club book, and then I read Keeping 13 and Saving 6. So I have Redeeming 6, Taming 7, and Releasing 10 to read yet. Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, Time of Your Life by Jessa Hastings, I have not read. And then we have the Magnolia Park series right here. I listened to all of it. I highly recommend listening to it because you get to hear all their accents, and there's a lot of like fashion and specific brands that it's just easier to listen to. I really enjoyed. It's so good. The Top Shelf and our last shelf for the second bookcase is small town romance kind of vibes again. So we have Knitting in the City series and the Winston Brothers. I'm missing the first one. Friends Without Benefits, Love Hack, Beauty and the Mustache. I have two of those because that's the connection between Knitting in the City series by Penny Reed and the Winston Brothers series by Penny Reed. Happily Ever Ninja. I can't read that one. Dating Ish, Marriage of Inconvenience, and then these are some like off series of a brother in the Winston Brothers series. Engagement and Espionage and Marriage and Murder. And then the first book, Truth and Beard. I was introduced to Penny Reed by my friend Debbie again, and it's so good. I love it. I don't really know of a whole lot of people that know of the series. It's just so good. Again, like found family, interconnected standalone. Then we have the Rose Hill series by Elsie Silver, Wild Love, Wild Eyes, Wild Side, Wild Card I have set aside for my spring mood pick. And then we have her Chestnut Spring series. So we have Flawless, Heartless, Powerless, Reckless, and Hopeless. I have read these. I love them. A 40-Year Kiss that actually takes place in Wisconsin. First Time Caller by BK Borison. I really liked this one. The second book came out in February. And then a little bit more BK Borison, Love Light Farms, which is based on a Christmas tree farm. And then the rest of that series, we have Mixed Signals, In the Weeds, and I think Business Casual is the last one. Have not read. And the last two are indie books. The Grump Next Door is Small Town Grumpy Sunshine book that I thought I'd really like. And then Unforgettable by Willow Astor. I met her at a book signing event. This was one of her books that really intrigued me. We're gonna go to my very last shelf and hopefully wrap this up. So I'm pretty sure this lighting is also terrible, but we're oh, because we're still in the same corner. So this is a smaller shelf. I'm only using the top two shelves for books. We have Alchemized. I started this, but I soft DNF'd because it is very, very dark and very heavy, and I wasn't ready for that. So I set it aside for later. The Frozen River I've read, and then I have a bunch of Olivia Dade books that I have not read. Some Allie Hazelwood. I have read all of these except for Problematic Summer Romance. The Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain, Love Theoretically, and Deep End. I enjoyed all of these. Some Emily Henry. I have read People We Met on Vacation and Funny Story. I have not read the rest. I did read Great Big Beautiful Life though, but it's not in paperback, so it's not on my shelf yet. Then we have some Kristen Hanna books. I have read Firefly Lane and The Nightingale, as well as Winter Garden. I want to read Flyaway, which is a continuation of Firefly Lane, and then I want to watch the Netflix TV show. I've heard amazing things about The Great Alone, and then I want to read True Colors. Down here, we have Colleen Hoover, Verity, It Ends With Us, It Starts With Us. I did not like this one. Confess, November 9, a signed copy of It Ends With Us, and Ugly Love. Then we have the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher, Throttled, Collided, Wrecked, and Redeemed. I already mentioned this earlier. And then we have the Windy City series by Liz Tom Ford. Mile High is the only one I have read so far, and I love. The Right Move, Sarah's Borrowing caught up right now. And then we have Play Along and Rewind It Back. A hockey romance series, Pucking Around, Pucking Sweet, Pucking Strong. I think there's another one, and I'm not sure if this is in order. I've only read Pucking Around. Yours Unexpectedly by Rachel Lewis. This I read on Kindle Unlimited. There's 2 more books in the series that I want to read. And then we have some Christina Lauren. We have Love and Other Words. I have not read this. I did read The Soulmate Equation though and loved it. Till the Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn. I just picked this up when I was in New York in February. It is signed and I love signed books. I'm really excited to read Megan Quinn. I have not gotten into her because I've heard mixed reviews. So we'll see if she's an author that I like. Breakup Vacation, I actually saw in Barnes, and it's about this girl who convinces her friends to go on a trip that she knows her ex is on. And I don't know if it's second chance romance or what the premise of that book is, but I thought that was very unique and I wanted to read it, so I got it. And then we have A Lesson in Thorns and Feast of Sparks by Sierra Simone. I think these are sapphic. I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, those are all the books that I have on my shelves. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know if you've read any of these or which one I should read next. If you want to see me try to tackle this ginormous TBR, hit that subscribe button and I'll catch you later. Bye!